Hey,
How's everybody?
yo, what's going on?
Man, y'all already know who this is. It's Brian, it's your boy Jamal.
And it's your boy Adrian.
And we out here in this building supporting the Raptors, man.
Yep.
We played tonight against the Celtics. This was a pretty good one, dogfight. We didn't come up with the dub, but you know what? It's not all bad. There's still some good takeaways
There's
from it.
a lot of good takeaways from this
So
game.
we're just gonna give you guys a rundown and get into it. So starting off, from the first quarter of the game,
Yep.
if you want to compare it to the last game, we said before there wasn't too much of like that urgency, playing on a high. This game, it seemed like adjustments were made. We definitely play with a good pace. We were looking pretty assertive in certain ways. The reason why I say certain was because we started off a little bit like shooting wise, not the greatest, but we still came out looking good and taking good shots.
Yeah.
Pascal had some shooting woes. He was 0 for 3, so he had a
Just
little
to
bit of foul
start
trouble
off
too,
first
so they
quarter.
kind of took him out.
Yeah.
But we had guys like Larry coming in, stepping up, taking it for us, looking pretty good. You know who actually seemed pretty off?
Who?
Boston.
Yeah, they were
Kemba?
struggling. So in the first quarter, Kemba Walker was just coming up short on majority of his shots. You guys know how Kemba Walker likes to cut around the pick and then just pop right away. Those shots where he would just spring up and shoot, he wasn't making them. 3-point shots, he wasn't making them. A lot of mistakes for him early on in this game.
Floaters were looking off.
Floaters were off. And you guys know he's money when it comes to that mid-range game with the floaters.
Yeah.
So both teams kind of struggled to start, but on the Raptors end, Kyle Lowry started off amazingly. He was aggressive. He was attacking the paint. And I know Kyle Lowry's going to have a really good game when he's shooting that transition 3. So he was shooting that a few times in the first quarter, and he was knocking them down. So when I see Kyle Lowry going, I'm like, great, the rest of the team's going to catch on, and then the Raptors are going to start going.
Well, I think he only knocked down one because when I tallied up and was looking at things, the only 3 people to drop threes was Lowry, Terrence Davis Jr., and Norman Powell. We were still shooting for like the gusto. We were taking like mad shots. We ended up shooting 3 for 10 for 3. Not the greatest stats, but you know what? We were still taking the shots that we had good looks for, and we're trying to make attempts for them. A couple of them did go down. One takeaway I do want to say, defense was looking pretty tight on our end, so I do give that.
Yeah.
Boston too. It seemed pretty even on both sides. We ended up having a low-scoring first quarter.
Yeah.
Not too much points really dropped. We ended up down by 1, 21-22.
Yeah, the
so
defense was just was really good in the first quarter. We'll just leave it at that.
pace was good. Efficiency just needed to get worked on a little bit. So not too much in the first quarter to take away what was going on. It seemed pretty balanced. But as soon as the second quarter, getting into it, things started to shift a little bit. So Nick was talking about having like an 8-man rotation the last game that went on. This one he had 9. Just to backtrack you, Stanley Johnson did come in
Yes.
kind of like to the ending of like the first quarter.
Yeah, about the 1 minute mark of the first.
Second quarter coming in, I guess he wanted to try and do something because he took a 3, looked clean. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, knocked it down. So that was good to
Stanley's
see.
showing
from him.
some signs, but you know what? The real person that showed signs second quarter that kind of stood out for me, Serge Ibaka.
Yes.
Right away, off the bat, rim protection was on point.
Yep.
Rebounding, blocks, his presence pretty much kind of just sent like that signal to Boston, like, don't come in here with that. Don't bring that garbage. As Jack says, get that garbage
Get that
out
garbage out of here. And his efficiency was there too. You know, when Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka, they have the pick and roll game. Kyle Lowry gets the ball over to him, and Serge Ibaka has a nice clean floater or the jumper. He was making them. So it's good to see that he's been efficient in this game, starting off in the second quarter. And the Raptors were just off the good times after that.
we were off to good times, and then it seemed a little bit shaky. But
at some points, yeah.
When it did seem shaky, shouts out to Larry. Larry had a moment where he bailed us out with a nice looking 3-pointer. I think we were like almost down, and then he came out, bailed us out. That looked pretty good.
And that was another transition 3 as well,
which he does really good at, like you were saying.
Yeah. When he shoots that shot, he's on.
Another key takeaway I want to say, when it came to like passing, we weren't as efficient.
Yeah, there was a lot of mistakes and turnovers in this game.
There was a lot of mistakes and turnovers, and Boston really did capitalize on that. Every single time Raptors would end up like making a bad pass, Boston was off to the races for a lay or making an extra bucket quick. That seemed to start to trend. Nick Nurse, being the smart man that he was, called the timeout to recollect our guys, get it together. And something must have like spoke out to like the Raptors players, because right after that, Rap started to put on a bit of aggression. We started to look kind of aggressive. So Fred right away stepped back, hit a nice trade from distance. Yep. Pascal was out at the beginning of the first, coming into the second. He started to get his driving game on. That started to look good. Larry started to play a part now, hitting a 3. At one point, we were 8-0. Pascal comes right back. Next play, 3-pointer. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't think I'm off for too long. Came back now, 11-0 run. Our 3-point shooting started to turn out really good. From going 3 for 10 in the first, ended up turning out 5 for 10 second quarter. Looking really good. Shout out to the guys from that. But
there was one person who was really struggling. Let's get into that.
Okay, yeah. Before that, Marc Gasol. Wow.
Yeah, but you know what? We're not going to put too much emphasis on it. He was struggling through the second half.
Out of the rhythm.
Through the first and the second half. Marc was struggling to really get his feet underneath him and get that shot going.
He just wasn't in rhythm. It pretty much, he was just, I don't know, not really. Okay, I'll say this. At some points, I felt he could have been assertive and taken a shot.
And then in the paint. He didn't have no post play at all.
He seems like he wants to be like the playmaker guy. I don't know if this is like the same thing carrying over from like even regarding towards like the finals and stuff, when he just wants to be like the pass guy. Yeah. Not too aggressive.
I guess there was just too much pressure, right? And he just leave it to the guards to make the big shots. And when he had his chance to, get some post play in, then he could do what he could do.
I felt certain plays he could have definitely tried to take it. But what though? If scoring doesn't work out sometimes, it's good to still keep your head in the game. So he was definitely looking out for our guys giving extra passes. Still trying to get his head in the game some type of way.
Understand that, but okay, now let's look at this. Do you guys think that Nick Nurse should have played Juan Hernandez? I mean, this guy is 6'11", 235 pounds. What do you guys think about Nick putting him in? Just to get some relief on the rebounds and maybe some post play from him. From what we've seen in preseason, this guy can play. He's good down low. He could play really good defense. I think maybe Nick should try putting him in. If Mark or Serge is struggling, get some extra help. Go a little bit deeper into the bench and see what this guy can do, because it's early on. So guess what? Look, so if it's early on in the season, give this guy a shot and let's see what he can do. Put him to the test.
It's true, but against a team like Boston, which already is considered a top team, I think he'll probably get exploited right away.
No, man,
not necessarily. I feel that looks like they're the most ready to like jump in and start playing right away is the player that we've seen right now, Terrence Davis. Man, he seems to be the most ready guy out of everyone else right now,
and it shows because Nick's only playing him. Stanley was a stretch, and he only came in for a few minutes.
And Stanley's been in the league for a minute, so to really say the first rookie that's coming out right now that seems like he's ready seems to be Terrence. So honestly, he will come. I just feel maybe against a team that they can kind of like sit back for.
I just can't wait to see him get in and just because I don't mean to pinpoint Mark and point out all the negatives, but when you need some help on the boards, because that gives up some extra play, right? Some more possessions.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with what you're saying, but Mark does more than boards, man.
That's true.
So
that's true.
DeJuan can't do what Mark does right now. I'm just being honest.
He can't. Guys, what do you think about that? Marco's having a really off game. Do you think Nick should have retched to the bench? I really want to know. Go into the comment section and let me know what you guys think.
Yeah. So just to kind of end off, like a key takeaway for the second quarter.
Second half?
We had some
going into the
problems with turnovers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Within the second quarter alone, Raptors had 8 turnovers. Definitely got to clean up a little bit more on our passing and certain plays. Even with all that being said done, we were only down by 1. So not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't really say too much. You know, we still kept our head above the water somewhat. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I also want to just let the people who don't know be aware that the NBA has a new rule that you can challenge plays.
I hear you. Let me get that
You want to get the
one.
Yeah.
So there's a new rule called the NBA Coaches Challenge Rules.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, challengeable calls, you get 1 per team. With that being said, personal fouls, out of bounds, and goaltending, I guess, are plays that get challenges.
They can be challenged.
In the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime, a foul is the only call that can be challenged. Unsuccessful challenges, the consequence is you lose a timeout. So once again, personal fouls, out of bounds, goaltending, you can challenge in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, overtime. And basically those are the new rules that are going forward. So
it's good because if the refs miss something that the coaches are really unsure about, they can just challenge it. So Marc Gasol at the end of the second quarter, he got the ball just at the 3-point line in the corner, and he did a pump fake, and then he got his defender to jump at him, and he got fouled. So the refs blew the whistle, and the Boston Celtics, Brad Stevens, he didn't agree with that, so he instantly called the challenge, and then you see a little green light go off, and unfortunately the play was reversed, so Mark did not go to the free throw line to shoot 3 free throws, which is unfortunate. That would have helped the Raptors out for sure.
It technically, just to sum it up, if you ever watch football, you could challenge plays. It's the same thing going on for the NBA. So that ended up not falling through, but hey, we still looked pretty good.
Yeah, just going into the fourth,
Going into the third, Larry, straight off the gate, he started really pushing the pace and the tempo for the guys. Dropped the first 11 points for the Raps. He came out with a 2. He looked like he got fouled 1 play with contact. Still made it. Got us some 3s.
He was balling in this game.
He was definitely balling. The next guy to step up and start balling, Pascal, he just second half just started lighting up the place. He came up with a 2-and-1 with the foul, put that up. OG started catching in the play. OG started knocking down the 3. Pascal started picking up again. Man had 12 points early off in the queue.
Yep.
Looking really good. With that being said, Raptors once again, like how you're talking about, need to get the boxing out. 16 offensive rebounds for Boston, man. That's something that we need to fix a little bit up on. But on our side, offense, we were clicking, man.
Yeah, the offense was growing. And also the second chance points. Can you touch on those as well?
Second chance points
for the Boston Celtics, because the Raptors got dominated there.
In the third quarter alone, Boston had 17 second chance points. We're not looking up for the guy we're not putting the guy behind us, or we're not sitting up in position to get our rebounds. We're letting guys just kind of body us in that sense. Boston was being a little bit more of like the physical team. So that was something that we do need to pick up on. But you know what? On the good side, though, man, Pascal was 5 for 5 for 3s.
Yeah, guys, he was cooking. You could just see all the work that he put in.
Listen, baby.
That $130 million contract, well deserved. Guys, Pascal, he upped his game, and you could see him shooting with confidence.
He's getting
pull
better,
up 3-pointers, just driving with confidence over defenders. He's getting a lot better.
Shout outs to him and
it's getting a lot better.
Those two are
really good to watch.
Those two were holding us down. 26 points in the third quarter alone. We're definitely fighting putting in that extra work, that extra energy. Of course, the other Raptors were too, but just the main guys that were shining in the third quarter, those two were having a ball, man. They were looking really good. So we definitely appreciate that work from there. Fourth quarter rolling in, though, we seemed that it was still kind of getting hot. Pascal looked good for a minute, but Boston,
they were ready to roll. Guys, Marcus Smart, out of nowhere, hits back-to-back three-pointers.
Trays talking.
Listen, we did not see that coming throughout this game. Marcus Smart was very quiet, obviously active on the defensive end like he normally is, but he just caught the ball and let it fly back-to-back.
He let it fly. Kemba was supposedly playing off. Fourth quarter, Kemba came alive.
His gears just started turning.
If you know Kemba, people, you know when it comes down to like the crunch time.
He's a closer.
He comes out big.
He's a closer.
Period. That guy started hitting a three. He started getting aggressive with the layups. Raptors, then I seen a little bit of like good spacing. Couple plays left one play actually, left Serge Ibaka open for a three.
And he knocked it down.
But the thing is too, was every single time we got a point going on, Boston came back answering.
Yeah.
The big takeaway I take from this was Boston kept like drawing in an extra defender
and just
from our side and kicking it out for open looks, and that just kind of seemed to be like happening over and over and over, and the solutions weren't really getting solved for that. We tried to bring back like Marcus Gasol to kind of get back our inside presence and a little bit of scoring, and Nick tried to switch up a couple other things. It didn't really seem to be happening too much. Tatum started catching on. Hayward started catching on with threes.
Jaylen Brown
was giving problems.
Jaylen Brown looked really good in this game. I just have to point out that those three guys are really balling. Like, they're really balling. Kemba just happened to just turn it on in the fourth quarter, which we didn't see coming because he was struggling the whole game. But those three, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, they were putting in work the whole game, guys. They were balling. They
were definitely balling. Just to add on top of that, though, Boston was shooting around, I don't know if it was near the end, but 6 for 10 in three-pointers. They were definitely clicking on
They were
on the
really
cylinders.
trying to close the game
Raptors were still trying to do their thing. Larry had a nice lead pass going over to Pascal that looked like almost half court. That was looking pretty good.
That alley-oop was nice, guys. Check that out. That was a half-court alley-oop.
It was looking good, but Boston's hustle was just too much. Boston had 20 offensive rebounds, man. That was going too much. Just in the fourth quarter alone, too, Boston dropped 36 points. They were just catching heat from everywhere. The putbacks.
Guys, that's how they sealed the deal with the second chance points.
Their physicality
That's how they sealed it.
The physicality was the thing I felt that just ended up taking over the game, was the reason why they ended up winning the fourth quarter. But let's just get into a key takeaway right now. When it comes to turnovers, Raptors had 23 turnovers for the game.
That's a lot.
That's a little bit too much to be having.
They gotta tighten up a little bit.
Yes, it is the second game, but the good thing is we can, like you say, tighten up and we can definitely make corrections. Second chance points. Raptors got smoked. 21-2. That was a little bit too much. Definitely got to work on that. Got to get our guys to box up a little bit more, because that could determine a lot of games.
Going forward, they're going to have to clean that up. They'll just watch some tape, and then they'll be able to make some adjustments going forward. So let's get into some stats now. Pascal Siakam had an amazing game. For 36 minutes, he had 33 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 11 for 22 from the field, 6 for 6 in free throw shooting, and 5 for 7 from the three-point line. Spicy P, he's working on that three.
Man, he's spicy, man. He's extra hot. You know what I'm saying?
Kyle Lowry, guys, played 40 minutes, had 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. He shot 11 for 18 from the field, 1 for 1 in free throw shooting, and he was 6 for 10 in three-point shooting. Guys, the three ball is working for the Raptors, but they need to clean it up on the defensive end and as well as the rebounds. So going forward into the next game, I think the Raptors will make some adjustments, and we'll see a new team, a better team going forward. Let's get it.
They were hot. Oh, if you guys know what this is, you have to know who Gilbert Arenas is when he used to do this, man. That hot sauce he put on, man.
I just remember Gilbert Arenas from taking that jump shot, and then before the ball goes in, he just turns it up. Remember when
that was how the Raptors were looking tonight.
Remember when Nick Young did that and he missed?
Rick that.
That's like, what are you thinking, bro? You're not Gilbert,
right?
Like, you're not.
Not to get sidetracked, yo. Raptors were looking good, man, but we just couldn't pull it out. We ended up taking the L, 106-112 Boston.
Yeah,
but it's only the second game,
so calm down. All right, we're not panicking.
We're getting ready.
Raptors are going to clean it up for the next game.
We're getting ready tomorrow for the Bulls, so don't worry.
Yeah, we got it. Anyways, guys, we greatly appreciate you for watching, tuning into the Bryan Brothers. Thank you so much. If you have not,
like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you do that. If you like what you're seeing,
subscribe.
If you like what you're hearing,
subscribe.
If you rate the guys,
subscribe.